Hello, beautiful being. I am Jennifer Ness Schmid, coming into you as divinely Jennifer, because we are all divine, my loves. And I hope that you are feeling the incredible shift in energy over the last couple of days out of the Capricorn mud into Mars in forward motion, Mercury in forward motion, Eris in forward motion. Uranus is going to be moving in forward motion. We're really going to be feeling these shifts in energy. Hallelujah. I know a lot of people have been feeling really just in it. A lot of women I know taking some solar retreats to places like Sedona or Mexico, or just getting away, getting out of everyone else's sphere of energy so that they can tap into their own. I'm very happy to see you today. So we're going to be talking about the new moon in Aquarius, which happens on January 21st at where are my notes? 1:53 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So 3:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you in the UK, let me do my math, 8:53 p.m. And for those of you in Australia and New Zealand, you're just always a day ahead of us. So it'll be on the 22nd for you. And I'm really excited about this new moon because of the incredible shift in energy, like I mentioned, because it is not just because it's also Chinese New Year, so Gong Hoi Fat Choi. For all of you, we are entering the year of the water rabbit, which hopefully portends to some extra prosperity and luck. Lord knows we could use it. So if you're not on my mailing list already, please go head over to my website at www.divinelyjennifer.com, and a little pop-up will come up. Sorry if that pop-up is annoying because you're already on my mailing list, but it is definitely the easiest way to hear from me, to hear about these videos. Definitely encourage you. I'd be so grateful if you could like, subscribe, comment to these videos on YouTube, because they help more people see it. So the more people who understand that the universe really is on our side, the better. And maybe this is just what they need to help them shift out of the stuckness that they might be feeling. So let's help out those YouTube algorithms when we're in this energy of stuckness, or we're feeling like we're in this place of darkness. I was saying to a client today, part of the energy is that here we are these incredible light-filled, light density spirits, souls, beings, right? We come in from the great beyond. We come in from the universe, from the cosmos, whatever you want to call it. And we incarnate into these dense physical bodies. That can be a challenge a lot of the time because these bodies are heavy, right? And it's not the lightness that we are used to, that we've come from the spirit world and here we are in these bodies and it's heavy. And sometimes we're kind of oblivious to the density of our bodies, that contrast between the density of our body and the density of our spirit. And that's usually when we're in a stuck place or in the shadows. And sometimes we become really aware of it. And those are the moments when we're right on the cusp of something really magical. We're on the cusp of breaking through the limitations that we may have been experiencing for the last 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 years, wherever you're at. So be gentle with yourself during this time. Be gentle with yourself as you're feeling that shift, because like I said, you're right on the cusp of something really magical. And I will be pulling up the chart for the new moon shortly. And I just want to talk about it for a few minutes because this new moon, it's conjunct to Pluto, and Pluto's going to be in this energy. Pluto's going to be dancing back and forth between the first degrees of Aquarius starting in March and the last degrees of Capricorn. And we're going to be in this energy of transformation, rebirth, letting things go. Even financially, I think we're going to still be seeing a lot of shifts, especially at the the levels of big structures like banks, like the government. We're seeing the US debt, they keep wanting to raise, the US Department of Treasury is like, we got to raise the debt ceiling. And Congress is like, no. And so we're going to be, and especially with Uranus and Taurus rules some of the financial systems, or just assets and resources in general. We're in this murky, like on the cusp of innovation. So will you take that step necessary to move you forward? Or will you get stuck in those limitations that Capricorn is so good at revealing to us? You will be in this energy, and it's really up to us as sovereign individuals to take that step forward, to take one little action step. And it might be something as simple as going outside to sit in the sunshine for 10 minutes. It might be something huge like launching an enterprise, becoming an entrepreneur. Who knows what it might be? Partnering with somebody to do something, getting a new job, leaving an old job. There's all these different paradigm shifts. It's all these different action steps that we can take for ourselves. And so we're finally moving. This is why I said in the Capricorn solstice meditation, that wasn't quite the right time to take an action step towards your intention. Now it's here. So it's not too late to join us for Lunar Liberation, the first of the Lunar Liberation series that begins on January 21st with this new moon. So if you want to know more about that, you can schedule a quick call with me at www.divinelyjennifer.com/discovery. And we can get that all worked out. Or you can just send me an email to hello@divinelyjennifer and say, hey, tell me more about the Lunar Liberation. Like, what's going on here? What do I need to know? These lunar cycles can absolutely help move us forward, especially for those of us who are women who have a womb, or we may have lost it over the years through surgical means or whatever, and that's okay too. But we have this beautiful connection to the moon. And so that's really what we're going to be talking about, is learning how to connect with the beautiful goddess energy of the moon and all of the goddesses up in the sky, but in particular to the moon. So this new moon is the first for 2023. And it's a beautiful time, like I said, to take that step forward. So we've got all these planets who have stationed direct or will be, Uranus is continuing to station direct. We've got lots of conjunctions in this lunar cycle that I'm just going to touch briefly on. I'll touch more on the conjunctions in the Lunar Liberation. But this change that we're feeling here in Aquarius is about innovation. I love to say that Einstein really represents so many beautiful paradigms around high Aquarian ideals. So Aquarian can also be, it has some shadow sides, right? Aquarius, like every sign, it can be detached emotionally, which isn't always a bad thing. It can be a little bit afraid of intimacy. It can keep us locked in some of these social structures, societal structures that don't serve us. So Aquarius is very much about the collective, about society. And Lord knows we have seen so much around the collective energies separating, right? So you've got that camp that was pro-lockdown, pro-mandate. You've got others that were saying, no, sovereignty, freedom. Aquarius is about freedom to be ourselves as individuals, so that we can be of service to the greater whole. That sounds like a big endeavor in a lot of ways, but really, we don't have to focus on anyone else. What anyone else is doing, what are my friends doing? What are my friends going to say? Will my social networks, will my business networks, will they judge me for this? With Aquarius, you just got to be weird. You just got to tap into your inner guru. You got to tap into that energy of revolution. Aquarius is also about revolution. There's a visionary aspect to Aquarius, and that can also be a really good thing. And it can be a challenge because we might see the big picture, but we might be stuck in how to move forward. We might be limited by that big vision. What the heck step do I take to move forward? And that's one of the reasons why I love setting a lunar intention so much, because when you know what house the new moon is in, you can focus on that for yourself in your own chart. And if you are like, you're just speaking Greek to me and I don't get that, please schedule a call and let's talk about it. Because change can be scary, right? We're in this place of great societal change. We feel it, right? There's the awake, there's the woke, there's all these different cultures that are within subcultures within our own culture, within our own society, that are starting to break apart or start to come together. So many people I know are calling in their tribe. I've been talking about this for months. And this lunar cycle also portends to creating our soul tribe. Do you have the courage? And I think Mars in Gemini, while Mars is still in Gemini for the next month and a half, almost 2 months, while Mars is still in Gemini, have the courage to speak and reach out to people we might normally be a little bit intimidated by. Call in your inner wonder twins and your social, beautiful Gemini, your social butterfly, and reach out to people during this Aquarius lunar cycle, because you never know, right? They might be calling in someone just like you too. This is about our, like I said, our friends and our social network. So maybe other people are looking to expand their social network as well. And they're going to be really, really, really grateful and appreciative. These societal structures need to fall away because they don't serve humanity. We've had these structures for a really long time, and they serve the bureaucrats and the power of a few, but they don't serve the greater good, right? We have this great wealth disparity because people haven't figured out that wealth and money are infinite energies. They're not a finite resource. And so people react out of fear and they give their power over to others. But now these structures are ready to fall. The limitations of these structures are ready to fall. I think libertarianism is a great example in its ideology of freedom and sovereignty and trusting the higher good in people, trusting their higher nature. Now, this is not always what we see politically, but in general, this idea of libertarianism, liberty, freedom, liberation, again, is this energy of Aquarius. And feel it. What do those words even mean to you? That says a lot. Does the idea of everyone being free and liberated scare the shit out of you? And if so, really ask yourself why. What are you afraid of? What scares you about that? And if you're like, yeah, man, bring it on. Again, ask yourself why. What calls you to that energy? One of the things that I love about this new moon is that, and about this new moon in Aquarius energy, is that there's a partnering of the young and the old. So have you ever noticed the way toddlers act around older people? I mean, it's so precious. There's this secret understanding between them. We have a friend who has a 2-year-old great-granddaughter, and they just understand each other's secret language. No one else gets it but these two. And it's so beautiful and wondering and heart expanding. The toddlers still remember what's behind the veil. They're still connected to this spiritual world. And the elders know that's where they're heading anytime, right? They're going to transition and cross over at any time. So there's this beautiful understanding. And I encourage you to, if you've got a toddler, to hang out with some older people, people in their 80s and 90s. It's just such a beautiful energy. And that's really where we are. Also, this beautiful partnership of young and old in this new moon. I saw a study on LinkedIn the other day, something about we become most productive in our 60s and our 70s. So that as we're aging, yes, we get tired, we get a lot more efficient. And we also can see what the youth are doing and support the youth in their endeavors and what they're bringing forward and helping them create their structures for the future as well. It's this, like I said, it's this cusp of innovation. Sometimes we have this fear of the future. That's definitely something that I am working through big time. Part of my wounds of my upbringing and my lineage and my heritage is this wound of scarcity around the unknown. And the question is with Aquarius is, can you embrace the unknown? Can you embrace what is coming? These new structures, can you embrace the revolution of change and do things differently? And how can you be innovative? How can you take steps forward when you're feeling stuck? If the same old isn't working for you, maybe doing something different. You've tried to lose weight and you've gone on diets and that doesn't work for you. So what if you do something differently? What if you start walking every day outside instead of going to the gym? What if you shift things up a little bit? This is what this new moon is asking of us. So there's a lot of change in the air, and you're going to feel really restless if you don't do something. I think if you feel constricted or limited. So like I said, these steps can be so tiny. They don't have to be big at all. They can be small, just anything that just gives you a little thrill, because Aquarius is electric. So give yourself a little jolt of energy. Like just do something a little differently than you've done it in the past, and see how that might shift some of your structures. Now, one more thing before I share my screen and I talk a little bit more about some of the magic of this new moon. The sun struggles in Aquarius, and these are some of the coldest days of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. What the sun really wants us to do is to shine our light from within. So instead of seeking outward, it's asking us to bring the energy inward, not so much to conserve our energy, but to use the energy to create and innovate. And that will have a positive effect on how we shine our light in the world, if that makes sense. I'm going to pull up my screen here. So this new moon, like I said, happens at 1:53 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so you can kind of ignore the placement, this inner wheel here, these houses, you can ignore that because that's going to change depending on where you are. But here we have this beautiful new moon in Aquarius at 1 degree, 32 minutes of Aquarius. So we only have 3 more new moons at the beginning of the sign, so to speak. So this is at 1 degree, 32 minutes of Aquarius. And then on February 20th, we have the new moon in Pisces, which is at 1 degree, 22 minutes. And then of Pisces. And then we have a new moon on the 21st of March, which is at 0 degrees, 49 minutes of Aries. And then the new moon in April, which is also starts eclipse season, is at 29 degrees, 50 minutes of Aries. It's right at the very end of Aries. And then all of a sudden, it's going to shift into Taurus. So that's going to be a really big shift for us, because instead of feeling this energy of Aquarius, like we felt Capricorn all the way through the Capricorn lunar cycle. Oh my God. And we're going to feel Aquarius all the way through the Aquarius lunar cycle. And we'll feel Pisces all the way through the Pisces lunar cycle. And we'll feel Aries all the way through that first Aries lunar cycle. And that's going to shift. This is going to contribute to some of that shifting energy for 2023. That might make you want to go inward, or might make you want to pull your hair out because we don't even know where we are energetically anymore as things are shifting. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. Only time will tell. We've got this new moon, and this new moon is pretty conjunct, pretty close to Pluto, who's at 28 degrees, 20 minutes. Not too far away. And like I said, Pluto is going to be in this energy here of the last degrees of Capricorn, the first degrees of Aquarius, the last degrees of Capricorn, the first degrees of Aquarius. So when Pluto stations retrograde in April, hold on, let me tell you that date. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's April. Oh, wait, it's May. May 1st. That's why. So when Pluto stations retrograde at 0 degrees, 21 minutes of Aquarius, and will go all the way back to 27 degrees, 53 minutes of Capricorn, and at the beginning of October. So Pluto's just here in this. So this new moon really portends so much of the energy we'll feel from Pluto over the next 2 years. Pay attention, my friends. Pay attention to this energy. It's going to be with us for quite a while. And also these conjunctions that I mentioned that I'll talk about briefly also start some significant cycles for us as well. And some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. Definitely things we want to be paying attention to here. As I mentioned earlier, Mercury has just stationed direct here. He's at 8 degrees, 50 minutes of Capricorn for this new moon. And remember that whatever we bury, whatever truths we bury, no matter how deeply we bury them, like the bodies in Lake Mead, they will eventually come to the surface. Please, please be as truthful as you possibly can. We're going to see, as I mentioned in a couple of social media posts that I did, a newsletter that I sent out, we're going to see a lot of truths being revealed during this time. And you're going to know your tribe, which is part of that Aquarius energy, by who resonates with the same truths as you. So Aquarius is also these aha intuitive flashes. Pay attention to those. Oh my gosh. Aha intuitions and moments. They are really, really powerful. We also, let me get my notes here. This new moon is also in a sextile to Juno and Jupiter in Aries. Juno, who is the goddess of marriage and intimate partnerships, is not interested in intimate partnerships right now. She's interested in her relationship with herself, not in a selfish way at all, but she recognizes how important it is to know who we are before we venture into a relationship. And there's nothing like a relationship to teach us who we are and what we want. And her conjunction to Jupiter is something that only comes around every 5 to 7, 8 years. This is a really big moment. And Jupiter is really, he's moving through Aries at lightning speed, 6 months, boom, in, out. And when he enters Taurus, he'll enter Taurus on May 16th. He'll be in Taurus until May 25th, 2024. So we don't have a whole lot of time with Jupiter in Aries. He is flying through. And he's expanding Juno at this new moon. He's really expanding this energy of independence within relationship, energy of sovereignty within relationship. He again wants us to know who we are in the world. And a sextile is nice energy. It's encouraging. It says, okay, I'm going to give you this little extra bit of help here energetically. And because Aquarius is very much the sign of friends and social groups and networks, this conjunction between Jupiter and Juno helps us, which goes exact on Sunday, 3:03 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sunday, the 22nd, is when we have this conjunction goes exact between Juno and Jupiter. Who are you when you're with your friends? Are you kind? Do you hide yourself? Are you the one who's kind of in the periphery, or are you front and center? Very important that we know who we are in our groups, and we'll feel that, right? We know when we feel like we've come home to our community. Sometimes it does take time to build that community. I definitely felt that when I started going to a yoga studio in November. I felt kind of awkward and clunky when I went to their holiday party. I think it took me longer to get ready for the party than I was actually there, because I didn't know anybody yet. I hadn't really seen people, said hi, people didn't really know me. And now, 65 days in, I think, of going to yoga at least every other day, if not more, I'm starting to get to know the community. That takes time. And I understand myself and my own gifts within that community. Now, we also have this beautiful almost conjunction between Venus and Saturn. Their conjunction will go exact on the 22nd. This is their last conjunction in Aquarius before Saturn moves into Pisces in March. I love this conjunction always, because it's a beautiful coming together of the innocent feminine with the divine masculine. It's like beautiful father-daughter energy. And like I said, I'll talk more about that in Lunar Liberation for those who sign up. And then finally, we have this conjunction here between Neptune and Vesta in Pisces, where Saturn is the divine masculine. Vesta to me is the divine feminine. She's the energy of the priestess, the highly initiated goddess, feminine archetype. She's the goddess of home, health, hearth, the harvest. She is an initiator. In Pisces, she's very much about sacred union. So that's the union of the masculine and the feminine. It's also the union of our individual consciousness with the consciousness of the one, of the divine cosmos, God, source, whatever you call the omnipotent energy. This is what she's focusing on in Pisces. She'll be moving into Aries on February 7th. This is very much about dreams, intuition, deep knowing. It's about connecting for us as women, using our womb space to activate our dreams. For anyone, it's about connecting to the divine to activate our dreams. Again, that deep intuitive knowing. This is a beautiful transit, and it's not going to happen again for about 5 years. So pay attention to what's coming up for you for your dreams. Have you been deluded? Have you been in a relationship with your twin flame and you recognize that you need to separate? Or is it a time for you to come together in the depth of compassion, in the depth of your relationships? Okay, I know this is a lot. I always end up saying more than I anticipated. Every planet that is moving through Aquarius right now is going to conjunct Saturn. It's going to meet up with Saturn towards the end here, end of his transit. He's got a month and a half left of his transit through Aquarius. Every planet that's traveling through Pisces is going to meet up with Neptune, just like every planet moving through Aries will conjunct Chiron and then Eris. These are times of new cycles. There's this energy of new in the air. And certainly this new moon portends that newness, and that newness, that change, like I said, can be scary sometimes. Trust that these changes are for the better. These new cycles that are coming in, these new changes that are coming in, trust them. If you're not sure how they impact you, I invite you to join us for Luna Liberation Series. I invite you to sign up for a reading with me. I had said I was going to pull those off the website, and I'm going to keep them going for a little while because they're so juicy and yummy. And every single person who signs up for a reading, I'm just so grateful that you are all here on this journey with me at this time. Because when I see your charts and I see your magic and I see your gifts, it gives me so much hope. And I know that we will make the shifts that we are calling in. I know that we are the ones we have been waiting for. Just knowing each other can create such a shift. So definitely invite you to sign up for a discovery call with me. Let's talk about Luna Liberation, talk about if you want a reading first, how you want that to look. I am here in service to you all, making my gifts available to the greater good as I know how. Like I said, please like, subscribe, comment, please sign up for my mailing list if you're not there already at www.divinelyjennifer.com. You can also sign up for readings, see other stuff that I've posted and created up there as well. See some testimonials if you're curious, is she the real deal? I like to think so. I love you. Have a beautiful new moon, and I will see you the next time.